Hello, I'm Steph from the Canadian Schoolhouse, and I am here this Monday, as I will be every Monday, to share a little bit about the contest we have going on all throughout April. So we have already got a few contest entries in, and it's so exciting to see some of that creative, cool stuff coming from kids. Now, it's not just goes from, we have four age groups. We have 7 to 10, 11 to 14, and then 15 to 19. And then we also have parents. So this is an opportunity for you homeschooling parents as well to get creative and send something in on our theme, Show How Nature Grows. And we just want to do this to help you get in nature. Not that you need much help when it comes springtime. I know our family for sure is outside so much more, and you see everything growing and little buds coming out, and every day it almost seems like there's a change. So that's some of that just normal stuff that we're seeing that you can get in a entry submission. So you can do that in photography and creative writing, which we're going to talk about today. You can do a 1-minute video and a drawing or painting. So each week we are talking a little bit about just little tips to submit your entries. And I also want to share that we have created, so we already created judging forums as we were planning for this contest, but we thought it would be really great as an afterthought that you can look with your kids to be able to look at the judging forms. So within the hour, it's not actually on the contest page right now, but within the hour, we're going to have these judging forms available so you can see how the submission is being judged. And there's just a few things on there. We've broken it down into kind of two different categories. There's ratings, which help us determine who's going to be the winner. We have first, second, and third place winners for each category and each age group. And then we also have whether it's just a few steps where you really need to follow that, and just for it to be approved, I guess, or not disqualified. And it's just standard things that we just want to see as far as the submissions. Not tricky stuff, but it's good to know about. So this week, I'm going to share a little bit about creative writing. And when we first thought about this artistic categories and having this contest and making it art-based, and so what would those categories be? And of course the ones photography came to mind. It's pretty common to see some photography contests, and then videography. I just have kind of a love for that myself. I love, not that I'm great at it, but I have created quite a few videos and love playing with video editing software. Love getting connecting together different recordings that I've done, and doing screen shares and all that kind of stuff that I love with video. And I thought, what a great thing to be able to catch nature in whatever creative way you would like to do that, and your kids would like to do that, and catch it in a video. So creative writing is a little bit outside of that. So of course the art, the more common art of drawing and painting is in there as well, and that's drawing or painting with any kind of medium you want to. So this week, as we talk about creative writing, I wanted to include that as well, because it really is an art form, especially when you get into real like poetic poems. And as I was searching some different forums, poems is common, but what other ways can you get small pieces of writing in? Because we're not looking for full stories, just short little pieces, and it's of 200 words or less. So I also saw the term of a vignette. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong there. So this is just, and it lots of times a vignette is put in books, within books, so within novels or other pieces of writing, just as a kind of more in-depth description, right? I thought that fits really well. So it doesn't have to be a poem, but that's a perfect example of creative writing. And it doesn't have to be a long poem, just something where really inspired by that growth in nature. So one other thing I wanted to mention about some of those tips is exporting. So the way that you need to submit a creative writing is probably the best way to do it would be to put it into a Word document or other word processing platform. Google Docs works well, and then export it to a PDF. So create it in your editable program, and then export that to a PDF. And it's the PDF that you would submit on our contest entry page. So we have that contest entry page. It should be right in the comments there. Christine may have put it in already, or she will put it in very soon. And that link is going to be there, at least for our live viewers as you're watching it. And we're going to get it in there in the descriptions, especially on YouTube. I'm finding as I went to put in links to some of our things, I thought it would be great. I could just go in and put it in a comment, but YouTube doesn't like links and comments because they just have disappeared. And we've determined that's probably the reason why, that YouTube is just seeing it as spam and they're just automatically deleting it. We're not even seeing it on our channel side in the back end that it's a comment for moderation. So I'm going to go back to some of those other ones, and even that video we did last week specifically on this contest, just to make sure that you have the links there to the contest page. Or, you know, it's going to go to the landing page, because the other great thing that you can get, whether you want to be part of the contest or not, is the ebook that we have, Creative Nature Study. And there is all kinds of articles and inspiration and ideas in how to do your own nature study. So go and grab that book. That's normally a little over $12 US in our store, but it's available free on our landing page. So go onto our landing page and get that ebook for sure, and then see a little bit more what the contest is about. And see this judging if you're interested in the contest and you want to enter that in there. Again, it's going to be about in the next hour. After this, I'm gonna go put it on that page, but this is just something we wanted to get up and together so you could just really be able to see how it's judged, which I think is really, really important as we're teaching our kids in submitting different things in different ways, and not just contests, but in all different ways. We need to be able to really follow those directions on submission. So I hope that I will see lots more contest entries. Now you've got till April 30th. So even if you're doing something that is a little bit more over time, or something that's you've got lots of time still. You've got a couple of weeks there to still get your entry in. So feel free to get inspired and get something together and get it submitted by April 30th. So also to do with this contest, it just ran alongside beautifully to highlight the pillars, our TOS pillars, our pillars of the old schoolhouse, and we are celebrating 20 years of helping and walking alongside homeschoolers, and we have lots of resources even over those 20 years. Now we have a quarterly magazine, so you can get that digital magazine by just going to tosmagazine.com, and it'll just put you right to the most current version of the digital magazine. So go and check out the magazine just to see all the stuff that we have for it would be our spring one that is out right now, but you can see all our past issues as well. A great search feature with our digital magazine, where you got something on your mind and you want to know about it, you can bet that we put it somewhere there in the last several years that the digital magazine has been going, and you're going to find lots of resources just in the magazine alone. But we also have other resources, and so we did our pillar last week of faith, and I just talked a little bit about that, and relatable to the homeschooling life as well as the Christian life, because that's really what we just want to encourage people in a life with Christ, and just raising their kids really the way that God wants us to, right? Just teaching them the right way, and giving them the right values, and that's kind of hard to do, at least in our public school systems. And so knowledge is very much that. You just want that knowledge to be able to give to your kids. I mean, information and all that stuff that we just cram in kids' heads when they're little, which it's a great time to do it, because the brain is just so ready, like a sponge, kind of taking in all that information. So definitely that pillar of knowledge is so important, that knowledge of God, as well as that knowledge that we're imparting on our children, and that connection to just We also want you to be really knowledgeable about taking on that educational life with your kids. So our resource that we have today is the Homeschool Primer. And this we have put together. There's a whole bunch of different things put together in it. It's a really, really great resource to have. It's a really an ebook. So there's all kinds of different things together in that to help you start and to help you navigate your way and as you're in the beginning stages of homeschooling. And I would say that it's probably useful for anybody at any stage of homeschooling, but especially if you've been homeschooling like a year or less, this is really going to be instrumental for you. The Homeschooling Primer, it's called. And again, Christine is going to have a link there for you somewhere there to be able um, to get that ebook, and that is completely free. So you just go to that link and you can get all that includes. So it includes a whole bunch of stuff about the demographics and how it's on the rise. And this homeschooling primer was kind of published before COVID 19 and all that's gone on with that, which has just given a big rise to homeschooling, and not just so parents taking on the education, not just doing the home schooling at home through the public education system, but so many parents are seeing how homeschooling, it's just been that perfect nudge that some families need. And hopefully you watching right now that you can relate to that yeah, that was just the nudge, that real encouragement I needed to take my kids out of the public school system. And you can really see how easy it is to educate your own kids. And it's easy, not because, I mean, raising kids is difficult. I find it much easier to raise my kids. I did have one son, my oldest, that went through the education system, so I can relate to both. But raising our kids and being able to educate them and not having them go somewhere else to be influenced by that system for really more waking hours than they're at home is so much better. So many people are just seeing how it fits well with your family. So I hope you'll go and check out that resource. So next week we are going to go over videography tips, and we are going to talk about the pillar of hope. So we've covered a little bit in faith, and I'm just going to show you this picture. It is kind of went with our video for this, but these are all our pillars. So we've got faith, knowledge, hope, and future, and all these are just relatable to the homeschooling life. But again, that life with Jesus that just really leads us and strengthens us in anything we're doing with our family, but definitely as we're educating our kids. And it's just great to be able to have that that dependence on God. For me, it certainly is. Like, I know I don't do everything right all the time, but I just am trusting in God every step of the way, and He has been so faithful in so many ways. And I could do an hour-long video in just describing all that kind of stuff, but that's going to be the end of this video for this week. I hope you're going to tune in next Monday as well as we talk about the pillar of hope. Have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you next Monday.